Laura, the two sides are moving on from each other. The Dallas Cowboys are going in a different direction, and Mike McCarthy is now a coaching free agent, free to speak with whichever teams he wants. The Bears put in last week and were denied permission by the Dallas Cowboys to talk to him. Well, Mike McCarthy now can go ahead and talk to the Chicago Bears about their head coaching vacancy. The New Orleans Saints also are expected to have some level of interest, and the Dallas Cowboys will launch a head coaching search a little while after other teams have. And it's an interesting timing here because essentially Bill Belichick has gone to North Carolina. Mike Vrabel has accepted the job in New England. And the Dallas Cowboys can't speak to the coordinators on the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Norton, Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo, and Matt Nagy, because that window essentially is expiring and there are no plans to talk to them. So Dallas has limited itself to a certain extent, but this is what Seattle did last year when it moved on from Pete Carroll and wound up hiring at a later date Mike Macdonald, the former defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. There's now a massive challenge in front of Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys to find a successor to Mike McCarthy, and the Cowboys' search for a new head coach is now underway.
Going to be fascinating to see how that all plays out. Adam Schefter with us throughout the next 2 hours as we welcome you into the show. Marcus Spears, Mina Kimes, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky. Before we talk about Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys, which we will, Dan has a Dio pin.
Wow.
So I just would like to...
Hey, it's been a great season. My dog had his little Dio written on a piece of paper week one. Now we've come full circle into the playoffs.
Really good.
It was time to step his game
It
up.
looks sleek.
I got
all positive comments.
Yeah, that never happens. Which, now I'm upset because we don't need his head getting anything. All right,
I appreciate it.
Do you like this move, Swagoo, for the Cowboys to part ways with Mike McCarthy?
You know, look, Mike McCarthy over his tenure was 50-36, and he had 3 years of winning 12 games, and obviously the conversation around Dallas revolves around, can you make a deep playoff run and win a Super Bowl? I think we beyond what the record is going to be in the regular season, because if the regular season record mattered, I don't think Mike McCarthy would be out of a job, especially the way he was able to galvanize his team at the end of the season when they had absolutely nothing to play for. It's always about the culture, though. What's going to change? Are you going to hire a coach with enough cachet, Jerry Jones, to come challenge you in your office when you want to do a certain thing and you feel like he has enough cachet to stand up and look you in your eye and say, nah, we're going to do it this way? I thought we had that with Bill Parcells. He went and signed Terrell Owens without Bill Parcells wanting T.O. to come to the team. Right. So that's an example of maybe there's not a coach out there with enough cachet. And then the other part is, do you revisit somebody like a Kellen Moore who's been in the organization, who knows how to function and been in that temperature before? It's going to be interesting to see the hire. But the most important conversation that's going to revolve around Dallas is, like I said when Mike McCarthy got hired, will the head coach be able to do his job?
Who should they call, Dan?
I would call Jason Witten. I would call the ex-tight end, the Hall of Fame type tight end. He's doing a phenomenal job coaching right now. You're talking about cachet. Most of these coaches that are out there in the kind of coaching interview world, they're not going to walk into Jerry's office and command something. Yeah. But a guy that played that way for them, will it be too early? Absolutely. But at some point, I mean, I understand the Kellen point. I don't think it's going to be Dion. Steve Sarkisian is interesting to me. But go entertain Jason Witten, who you know everything about. He obviously has the track record within the organization. And see if you can go find, I say this all the time, Sean McVay. When the Rams signed Sean McVay, they knew it was early.
Right.
You might be a year too early. But everything you hear about Jason Witten as a coach is lights out.
Yeah, and I think the difference is, how does Jason Witten deal with adult men? I believe that's going to be the issue when you talk about the Dallas Cowboys coaching job, is that they actually have two jobs. They have to learn how to manage a locker room and coach a team and be in the right places schematically. And then they also have to be able to manage the owner. And so you're pulling double duty for your entire tenure. And when you think about a Sean McVay, the one thing we knew about Sean McVay was, from a schematic standpoint, is that he was a genius.
No doubt.
And now it was about how would he relate to adult men in the locker room, being of young age. He obviously answered all of those questions. And whether it's Jason Witten, Ben Johnson, or whoever it is, you have to figure out, if you're Jerry Jones, what's most important to me? Is it most important that I continue to keep control of this team, or is it more important that I give somebody somebody the reins that can win me a championship.
Mina, whoever the coach is, what's first priority personnel-wise for this person?
Yeah, first of all, I think this is an attractive job as we consider the landscape right now, especially with the Patriots job filled.
If you're not dealing with the bull.
Yeah.
Right, but football-wise, yes.
You got a quarterback. You have young talent on both sides of the football. You have superstar talent on both sides of the football, which is not true of all of those other jobs, quite frankly. Better in the trenches. Obviously, the run game was an issue this year. You had a very young offensive line. I think you can keep building on that. They do need to add offensive talent. Defensive tackle remains an issue with this team. But top to bottom, this is not a bad roster. I think it would be very appealing for a young offensive-minded coach. Witten, that really took me by surprise that
Liam
said
Cohen?
that. Yeah, I mean, I think the names that we're hearing, Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, obviously. Joe Brady is another one. I've just been so impressed
Mina,
watching that offense.
Is it for you, though, just the same sort of names we're hearing for every job should be the people the Cowboys look into?
Specifically young offensive names, yes. And I don't think that's true of every job. It might not be the case with Chicago, for example. But this team, watching them, so clearly needs an offensive refresh. And I feel like you got to bring in someone who has that kind of mind.
One of those young offensive guys, just Jerry. How does Jerry vibe with that?
I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it because they're subordinate immediately.
And also, haven't they all been? They've had the past two guys been offensive-minded guys.
Yeah, like
but no. When Mike McCarthy was hired, was any of us like, "Wow, here comes a fresh offensive"?
No, but we got 15 years of. In Dallas, kind of like the offensive-minded coach.
But the other thing is, too, it's an offensive coach that doesn't have any creativity in what they do offensively. That's going to change what they work.
We've been here with Jason Garrett. That's what the Jason Garrett hire was supposed to do. It was supposed to be the young offensive coordinator. I was on the team when Jason Garrett was the OC making more than the head coach Wade Phillips.
Right.
Like he was in waiting. So they've already explored this young offensive coordinator guy, and they probably kept Jason longer than they should have in order to be in that search. Another name I'm going to throw out there, which could be very interesting if something comes down the pipe, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I think it would.
I think if you were Dallas, you'd be like, yes,
that's like a CEO type.
Absolutely, but if it grows old in Pittsburgh and something materializes, he would be number one on my list.
I like that. Hey, our next hour, we're going to talk about where Mike McCarthy should maybe go, who should be calling him. So that's still to come. Don't miss it. Let's get back to some of the action in Wild Card Weekend. The Eagles and the Packers.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn, mình lại quay lại đây. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tô màu những sản phẩm này đây. Các bạn hãy xem thật kỹ nha. Đây là những sản phẩm mình chưa tô. Những sản phẩm mình tô màu xong thì chắc chắn nó sẽ rất chi là đẹp. Tại vì mình có hộp săn màu này này. Hộp săn màu này của mình. Nó giúp mình tô màu rất chi là đẹp luôn. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình tô màu những sản phẩm nha. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn.
Bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục tô màu nha các bạn. Thằng Thành nó có trên đấy không? Thế không đi theo cùng nó đi. Đi ăn lớp à? Đi ăn lớp à?
Đi lớp đó. Ngáo ngư lên tận Bắc Rạng nữa.
Lên đâu?
Bắc Rạng.
Bắc gì? Bắc Cạn.
Bắc Rạng.
Bắc Gia.
Bắc Rạng ở đâu?
Cứ Bắc Giã.
Em hỏi xong mấy chú được bị em bị nhìn.
Ma Vẫn Thư. Bắc Giã ở đâu?
Đây chịu thôi, Bắc Giã không biết. Cùng đi đến chân trời.
Giờ tiếp mà đứa này ra bài.
Thấy thì trước chị có gọi là phong tơ. Rồi chị biết đâu
Là Phong Uyên.
dạ.
Của em tất gọi là Phong Uyên và các gọi là Phong Từ.
Lẽ ra là phong tư.
Không biết. Một là Phong Uyên, hai là Uyên Đốc.
Mình sẽ
Tất gọi tên ông bô mà.
đấy là đi đấy. Mọi người ơi, màu xanh của mình đây, màu xanh của mình đây nhá. Tiếp đến là tô màu gì ạ? Ông ơi, bây giờ con ơi, quên em quên đi hết màu xanh rồi. Đợi nha, lấy tôi đợi nha. Xin chưa?
Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn. Mình lại quay lại đây. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tô màu những sản phẩm này đây. Các bạn hãy xem thật kỹ nha. Đây là những sản phẩm mình chưa tô. Những sản phẩm mình tô màu xong thì chắc chắn nó sẽ rất chi là đẹp. Tại vì mình có hộp sáp màu này này. Đấy, sáp màu này của mình. Nó giúp mình tô màu rất chi là đẹp luôn. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình tô màu những sản phẩm nha. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn.
Bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục tô màu nha các bạn. Thằng Thành nó có trên đấy không?
Không có vẻ.
Nó đi xuống nhà thì thích lên đó. Thế không đi theo cùng nó đi. Đi ăn lớp à? Đi ăn lớp à?
Đi lớp đó. Ngáo ngơ lên tận Bắc Giang nữa.
Lên đâu?
Bắc Giang.
Bắc rồi, Bắc Cạn.
Bắc Giang.
Bắc Gia.
Bắc Giang ở đâu?
Cứ
Hả?
Bắc Giã.
Em hỏi sao mấy chú được kỹ em bị điên.
Ma Vẫn Thư. Bắc Giang ở đâu?
Đây chị của tôi, Bắc Giã không biết. Quên đi đến chân trời.
Giờ đi mà cái hướng này ra bạn.
Thấy thì trước chị có gọi là phong tơ. Người chị biết đâu.
Là Phong Uyên.
Dạ.
Có lẽ tất gọi là Phong Uyên và các bạn Phong Từ.
Lẽ ra là phong tư.
Không biết. Một là Phong Uyên, hai là Uyên đó.
Mình sẽ
Tất gọi tên ông bô mà.
đấy là đi đấy.